Hi, I'm Felix from TechLabs Berlin. Welcome to our Q&A session about the upcoming summer term of 2020. And without further ado, let's start with the first question. Do the courses have weekly assignments or classes and deadlines that the participants need to meet, or is it more of a course to follow at your own pace?
So we don't have weekly assignments like typical university classes might have. Although, as said before, we believe that it makes a lot of sense for you to schedule a weekly amount of hours to make progress. And we also have some competition that sort of motivates you to stay on track. Yeah, so you could choose to do everything in 1 week. But if you do so, then it doesn't really make sense for you to be part of TechLabs because it really lives from making some progress every week and talking to other people about it. And otherwise, we don't see much point in that.
What is the TechLabs business model? How does it manage to provide good education for free?
Yeah, I think that's a very good question, Christian. So TechLabs is a nonprofit, so we don't have a innate business model. We don't intend to make any money. We sort of aspire to educate digital shapers that use their digital skills to work on some of the world's challenges. And with that, the only thing we want to do is sort of get enough money to provide as much free education as possible. And how it normally works is through partnerships with companies. So for example, we would host a workshop with a consulting company or one of the big Google, Microsoft, whatever. And they would pay us a certain amount of money so that we can sustain ourselves. And B, there are quite some funds out there from other organizations that we apply to, and we see funding of, for example, the Google Impact Challenge, where they paid us a certain amount of money that we can work with. So that's basically how we sustain ourselves. And maybe specifically for Berlin, we are cooperating with Microsoft, and that will also be the main location in the center of Berlin, where we will meet once we're allowed to go out again and meet in person.
Any coach or trainer that we can contact from time to time?
Yes, there are. One is actually in the call right here too. Hello, Max. We call them mentors, but it's basically a coach, and they are specialized on the certain tracks and will help you sort of in case if you lack motivation or whatever, he'll message you and help you to sort of stay on track. And most importantly, of course, if you have any specific questions about the track, about what you're learning, you can ask him or her. And also for the projects eventually, it's usually quite important to have somebody who knows all this stuff, who can then help you to solve a bug or whatever.
We were previously frequently asked if there are attendance requirements for meetings. As of now, we'll meet online, first of all, that's for sure. And we do not have attendance requirements yet. The main point, or one of the key points of TechLabs, is the community and the interaction. So we'll strive to have this online first and then potentially later in person too. So we definitely recommend for you to get the full TechLabs experience, to take part in as many meetings as you can. And if there's one meeting where it's your grandma's birthday or whatever, you'll be fine.
And maybe to add on this, I mean, we already mentioned that in our information session, but we are trying to get TechLabs back to physical meetings actually as soon as possible. Due to the current situation, we decided to do everything digital until at least end of May, and hopefully afterwards we might have physical meetings again afterwards. But let's see, like we will re-evaluate depending on the situation.
Yeah, so I mean, if we would have had the choice, this meeting wouldn't have been a Google Meet, but it would have been at the beautiful Microsoft location in the center of Berlin, and I don't know, being streamed live on YouTube. But I mean, we would have invited you all to join us, and given our hope that the situation will improve, we hope that we can return to like the offline thing towards the end of the semester. But I mean, as we all know, we have to see what happens.
Do you want to start?
Yeah, I mean, I can start with the first question. So the first question we received over the form was, if there are any resources or materials that you need to participate in the course? And the answer is, let me really quick get to the next slide. The answer is that somehow depends on the course that you're choosing, so or rather the track you are choosing. So we have 4 tracks: the data science track, artificial intelligence track, web development track, and user experience design track. And the resources that the learning contents in these tracks use are different. So for example, for the data science track, there are some public resources, but there's also DataCamp. So DataCamp is like an online learning platform, really well known and really good quality material. And DataCamp is free for students, but would otherwise cost $29 per month. So if you are enrolled as a student, it's not a problem at all. Otherwise, we would have to manage. For the artificial intelligence track, the material is completely free. The web development track uses one Udemy course, which is 12 euros, so also not a great investment. And the same is true for the user experience design track. There's also one Udemy course of about 50 euros. So basically, that's all you need. And I mean, even those 50 euros, that's like capped. That's all you need.
Great.
So the question is if there are any fees associated with any of the courses. So I mean, that's basically answered. Or Pico, do you want to add something?
No, I think you just mentioned these. Maybe one thing is to add that we strive to sort of offer these courses for free. And we usually cooperate with some companies that can host workshops and stuff. But sort of given the Corona circumstances, we haven't really been able to interact with companies right now, which is why right now we would ask people that are working to sort of afford these courses themselves.
Are the tracks only on Educated, or is there also online courses through video conference?
So the tracks are on Educated and might link you to other platforms as Felix explained at the beginning. And then we have video conferences for some talks that are not maybe as focused on a specific track, but it might be some person from practice, some professor, people like that who work with the stuff we're talking about in practice and will explain how they implement it and that sort of stuff. But the main sort of educational stuff or hands-on stuff will be through Educated.
What does personalized content or personalized track, learning path, whatever mean? And could we please explain this a little bit?
Yep, for sure. So as I think it seems quite logical, if you would, for example, have no idea about data science at all, would not have any statistical background, we should help you to learn both the coding part plus that statistical background. If you shall, for example, have some statistical background, then the track will be personalized so that you don't have to work through these, even though you know them.
Who else stands behind TechLabs Berlin? It seems like an awful lot organized by only 3 people. I mean, that is right. We couldn't do it with 3 people. So actually, right now we are more than 3. So one mentor is also in this call, Max. Then we have Till and Brando, who are working for TechLabs Berlin also. And then there's, of course, the whole of the other TechLabs organizations. So the TechLabs global team and the other TechLabs locations in Münster, Copenhagen, Curitiba, South American stuff. So they are all like collaborating, and especially the materials that you will get for the tracks. We didn't really, I mean, we like contribute to them, but they are like made by all the whole TechLabs organization. So I mean, the whole structure and tooling and education courses, that is all shared between the different TechLabs locations. So that only allows us to do this in our free time because, yeah, we can't do it all.
Yep, and maybe to put a number, I think it's over 100 people that are working for TechLabs with TechLabs in total. And that's divided on the specific locations, and then the global team that, for example, as Felix just explained, works on the journey and tries to offer the best personalized courses for you guys.
Yeah, and also for Berlin, I think, I mean, it's our first semester in Berlin. We're just getting started, and yeah, we're definitely planning to grow our team. So if anybody feels motivated after like participating in one of our tracks or just in general, like we're happy to get new people on board as well. So if you feel motivated right now, you can also get in touch in terms of supporting us in TechLabs Berlin.
The lessons, are there only online videos or are there instance video lessons or video chats once a week? maybe you want to also answer that so I can have a look at the questions in the meantime.
For sure. That's actually a very good question. So we talked about it in the Infocast too. There are some online lessons, or the main part basically is the online videos on DataCamp, on Udemy, depending on the course you take. And additionally to that, we have community events that are sort of instant video lessons, you could call, and talks from other people that may be practicing web development, and they would give us some insights about how they do it, their best practices, and also answer you the specific questions.
Is there a certificate at the end of the course?
Yes, there is a certificate, the Digital Shaper certificate. And that's also, Felix, if you want to blend in the slides again and skip to slide 9.
9.
So yeah, in order to receive the Digital Shaper certificate, first of all, we try you to complete your online courses, or at least the biggest chunk of the online courses. And most importantly, to work on the project together with your team. And then prepare a post for Medium together with your team about the project that you worked on. And if you accomplish all of these, then you get the Digital Shaper certificate from TechLabs.
Okay.
I hope that answers the question.
Yes. Then the next question is, how big are the teams in the final team projects?
Also a good question. That most of the time depends on the type of project you want to tackle, but it's typically between 3 to 5 people. So very manageable group size, sort of easy to communicate. That's basically what we've gone with in the past.
How are the teams chosen?
The teams are chosen on the basis of your project. So for example, say you take the user experience track, then you'll work within this sphere, and we'll help you to find projects. And then it's sort of a process of you vote which project you want to work on eventually, and then we'll help you to sort of find the teams.
The application, how are we going to select students?
Good question. So as I said a few questions before, we aspire to develop to help people become digital shapers and go out with these skills and do something in the world. And that's, I would say, the main criteria for our selection process too, is of course, do you have the time? Do we believe that you can or are actually willing to take the time to learn with TechLabs? And then secondly, what do you aspire to do with these skills afterwards? How could we see yourself implementing these skills in whatever your domain you are, for example, medicine? And I would say these are the main criteria. So basically your motivation to do something and your actual capability right now to bring forward the time and study or have enough time in the week to actually do your courses and engage with the community.
What are the chances to get into the program and how big are the courses?
So typically the semesters across all locations have been around 50 to 70 spots in order to keep the community close enough for people to engage with each other. Bigger than that, it's sort of hard that everybody still knows each other and supports each other. And that also speaks of the chances to get in. So depending on the number of applications, yeah, it's simple math. There will be around 50 to 70 spots in Berlin too.
Okay, this answers the next question. So Sarah asked how many people will be chosen. So about, I don't know, 50, 60 or so. We still have to decide on an exact number, but that is like the ballpark that we're working with, because it's really, I mean, even though the online program is relatively scalable, we want to ensure like that you can ask questions and also get them answered in a quality way, and that you feel like you're being part of a community and not just a massive online course that just shares a Slack workspace and then that's it. That's not our goal, and that's not why we build what we build. So that's the simple answer. So is sociology or psychology a good background for a TechLabs student? The answer is yes.
Yep, certainly a great background. We have had a lot of psychology students in the past. And as we said, diversity is the key. So there's no specific degree where we're like, okay, this is what's needed. We just wanted to be as diverse as possible.
Okay, we in the application form we ask that you answer if you live in Berlin or not, and yeah, the question is, even if, I mean, the most important aspect of this question is, should you be around Berlin for the semester? And the second aspect is, if you're not like physically very near but can come to Berlin, if that counts. But maybe first answer the first question, it's more important.
Yep. So I think, as I said before, we want to eventually meet in person, and for that it's helpful if you are in Berlin or around Berlin. It doesn't really matter if you're directly in Berlin, as long as you will be able to then attend in-person events once we're allowed to go outside again and meet in person.
Yeah, maybe to add on this, I also really think that, I mean, we want to create a community really in Berlin. Ideally also like create an alumni community at some point, actually. So yeah, it's preferable if you are around in Berlin. Oh, that wasn't me.
Okay. One person was muted. All right.
Yeah, I just muted him.
Okay. Did we answer the question completely? So yeah, I mean, you should be around Berlin. We don't care if you have to drive for like, I don't know, 50 minutes to come, but you should be able to come. That's the answer. Next question: if one is currently unemployed, do they still have chances to get into the course? And I mean, to be honest,
sure.
Yeah, I mean, we don't care if you're unemployed or not. And to be honest, I think it may be even an advantage, because we could think that you have enough time to finish the course and want to learn something new right now. So we don't care.
Doesn't matter. Yep.
What kind of backgrounds are we looking for?
There's no specific background. We try to create a community that is as diverse as possible. So maybe you have some people with a medical background, some with a business background, with all sorts of backgrounds, for the exchange between people to be most fruitful. But there's not a specific profile where we'll say like, okay, this is the typical TechLab students. I think diversity is key here.
Let's start with, how many working hours should I plan per week?
We typically talk about 5 hours a week that you should invest into your own education. At the beginning, it's mostly focused on taking online courses and one community event every week or every 2 weeks. And then later on, it's mostly focused on the project, where you begin to implement what you have learned before. And during that time specifically, we have noticed in the past that it's sometimes there may be a week where you'll have to invest 10 hours because it's just busy and you hadn't had the chance to do more in the week before. So for that, it might vary, but typically we recommend to take about 5 hours a week, and especially sort of to establish this habit and study on a weekly basis, because this will have a much better learning effect for you.
Relating to the bootcamp, Sarah asks, what's the difference between the two?
So I think the bootcamp, Sarah, you referred to the Code at Home bootcamp, and that's something that started I think 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. And for that, people from all over the globe joined. We had or have over 1,000 participants from, I think, over 50 countries. And that's remote, totally remote, and it's not related to a specific location. Unfortunately, this is closed now. So the semester has already started for them. So right now, the only way you can partake in TechLabs would be the specific locations. And if you are based in Berlin, it will be us that you can go with.
Can I work on more than one topic? And I think he or she means more than one track.
Yeah. So the idea is that you pick one track at a time, actually. So there is no, what you can do is like apply for one track at the beginning and then maybe choose another track in the next semester if we re-accept you for the program. But generally, if this is related to tracks, you have to pick one track.
Yeah, and maybe to add on that, we have on the Educator platform, which you'll use for the courses as sort of our main platform that you interact with. We have free courses for data science, for user experience and stuff too. So if you feel super motivated and might have extra time due to the Corona circumstances, you can always take one of those courses in addition to our track.
Okay. That's already answered the question, can I watch the lessons of other topics? So you can have your full track, and then you can access the other resources that are on Educated as well. But the idea is that you focus on the track, because you only get the TechLabs community benefits and stuff if you engage with the community and if you focus on one track. I mean, if you have enough time to put enough work into your TechLabs track and do another thing besides that, that's fine. But the idea is that like the whole community learns together, right?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah. Also, I really think that, I mean, the 5 hours that we just mentioned are like really, yeah. I mean, it's a like something that we recommend to invest at least. Actually, I think there is really no harm if you have more time to spend to like really spend that time also on your track, because in the end, it's only 3 to 4 months actually. So every hour that you have more, you could spend on data science or AI or whatever track you choose is really worth spending as well.
Is what kind of background knowledge is expected before starting the AI track?
Do you want to take that, Felix, or should I do that?
You can do it if you want.
Okay, so what we typically recommend as AI is sort of built on the data science knowledge is that if you are familiar with the basic stuff that's in our data science track, then you should take the AI track, but it shouldn't be something where you're like, okay, yeah, I might know a little stuff, and I've taken, I don't know, or watched 1 or 2 videos on YouTube about data science and might know some or have some statistical background. Then we would typically recommend for you to take the data science course first. But that being said, it's still an individual decision. And if you would like to discuss with us in person and sort of tell us what background you'll have, then we can recommend you if you should do the AI track or the data science track first.
Is it sure that we will offer that digital shaper program in the next semester again? And will I have the same chances to get in? I mean, in these times, no one can say what's for sure. So, I mean, but definitely the idea. So we're starting TechLabs in Berlin, and the idea is that we're not going to have only 1 semester. So according to our plans, there will be another semester, of course. And I mean, we can't say what your chances to get in the next semester will be, because I mean, as Pico already outlined, it depends on many aspects like number of applications and resources that we have. And so, but I mean, I think you will be able to apply again, and hopefully you will get accepted. Okay, data science question. Do we have to decide between R or Python? And the answer is yes. So there are like variants of the tracks that either focus on R or Python as the programming language, because in most of the tracks you get also like the basic knowledge of how to program and how that stuff works. So it doesn't make sense to do 2 programming languages in a course that is like just a few months long, and you only spend 5 hours on average per week. So it doesn't make sense that you learn R and Python, because you can learn the basics of one language and already apply it instead of learning 2. So yeah, that is the reason why we put it this way.
Yeah, and maybe regarding the timing, you'll have to choose after the kickoff event, which is actually next week, where we'll present the courses one time in depth, and you can ask us, okay, I want to do this with data science. Maybe you want to move more towards academia. Then we'd, for example, recommend you to pursue R. Otherwise, we would potentially recommend you to do Python, and we can discuss with you in person. And after that, you'll have to decide which track you want to take.
Data science and web development, what would you recommend for someone who knows nothing about tech and is looking to get started in this area?
Maybe I can take that. Actually, that's really not easy to answer, because it's not really related to your tech knowledge. I think it's really about what you want to do in the end. So if you're more a numbers person and you really want to go into like that understanding of data and like how you can draw conclusions from big data, then you would go into the data science track. If you would like to really build a product and you want to have a website or an app or something like that in the end, then you would like go to web development. I think in terms of required tech knowledge, it's both starting from zero pretty much. So you can pick both.
How are the projects chosen for the teams, and if there are there already prepared project ideas that we offer, or do the teams need to develop the ideas? And I mean, the answer is you can freely choose your team. I mean, of course, with that whole online setting, we will provide some kind of structure for you to pick your team and to get to know each other, because I don't think it would work otherwise. But you can freely choose your team, and we will do a project ideation session where we will provide some input, and I mean, maybe already some outlines of ideas. But the point is, I think it's really important for you to build these ideas, to build it from scratch, or to fully stand behind the idea, for you to be motivated to complete your project. So it's not a good idea to just use something from us and implement it, because you're not like with your whole heart behind the idea. So
yeah, but at the same time, you don't have to worry that you won't find a project, won't come up with an idea. We're very happy to help you with that. We have past projects. The global team keeps a list of projects that might be interested, databases, for example, that might be interesting to look into and work with. So we'll definitely find a cool project for you in case you're desperate to find something.
So if I already submitted my application, will I get an email on April 20th, even if I'm not selected? Yes, you will get an email even if you're not selected, because we just want to let you know that what the status of your application is. So definite answer, yes.
Yep.
We will email you. In order to learn more about Python, would it be better to choose the AI or the data science track?
Yeah, I think if you have no background in Python at all, and also maybe not any other language related or that's frequently used in AI, we would recommend you to first of all pursue the data science track, and then next semester do the AI track with us and become a pro in that.
Which experience level is suitable for the user experience track? Sarah, do you want to answer this?
In general, like all the tracks are, as we personalize the tracks, all the tracks can be for a beginner as well for an advanced person, actually. So I mean, if you're already a full educated front-end design expert, actually, I think that's not the right track for you. But if you have like some knowledge or no previous knowledge at all, then you can start with the user experience track, as for all of our tracks.
But I can already say thank you for coming. I mean, we were like, I don't know, just close to 50 people, so pretty impressive. And yeah, I'm hoping to see many of you in the coming weeks.
Yep.
Thanks.
Certainly.
Thanks, guys. If you have any more questions, like, you can continue probably to write us directly in any way. So we're happy to help you.
Exactly. Okay. I would say we'll stay put for another, I don't know, 5 minutes in case somebody wants to talk to us in person. Everybody else is free to leave, so to say. And if you have any more questions, always reach out to us via Instagram, Messenger, whatever. We're happy to help you and are looking forward for your applications.